Hi, welcome back. This is part 4 of the Mosquito build. I don't know how many parts it's going to be. It'll be what it is, I guess. I don't know. So basically, I haven't done right lots to it. It just looks like I have. But this is the wing. I've dry fitted it all together. Fits absolutely perfect. I mean, the engineering in this kit is outstanding. Now this is how the real Mosquitoes were built. So when they were built, the fuselages were built separately. They were camoed up, practically finished, even with the roundel on the side. They didn't have the squadron markings on, but they had the roundel on the side. I'll throw up a picture of, if I can find some, of how these are done. And then the wings were built in the same fashion. And then I don't think the engines were fitted when they fitted the wing, but they're already plumbed in for them to be fitted. Now this unit, it all screws together. So what you do, you just hook it in. Off camera it's dead easy, isn't it? You hook it in like that and it just sits there like that, and then all the bomb bay and the gun arrangements and stuff go there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically build them like the real one is done. So I'm going to completely finish this part. I've decided colour scheme wise just to stick with the box colours, because the past experiences, if I wander off that track, it doesn't always go well, because I struggle to get decent masks to suit the insignias of non-kit models, unless you buy them. The one I was thinking of doing was silver, but getting the masks and stuff, I can't be bothered, because I don't want to ruin the model. I don't want to waste a lot of time on stuff that's not necessary. So basically I'm going to stick to the plan and use the kit decals. Well, I cut the kit colour scheme. I'm not going to use the kit decals actually. I've ordered some one-man army decals, which I think it comes with masks for the insignia as well, so I can use those. But I want to paint this as a complete unit as it is like this. I might put the fin and the tail on eventually, but at the moment I just want to paint this like this, and it's much easier to work on it like this, do all the masking and everything in this position as it had the wings on. So and even when they built them, I don't think the actual camo used to match the wing on the top. You know, it doesn't necessarily follow up, blend in perfectly, because obviously it was painted separately. So I don't mind if it's not a bit out anyway. But it gives me the opportunity then to work on this with a lot more freedom, and I've decided to weather it as a wartime aircraft. And I've made a few discrepancies in the cockpit if you look at the other builds, but it's good enough. I'm happy with that. But it's such a boring aeroplane without. If you build it perfectly, it just looks a bit dull. And it does have a lot of opportunity now. I've looked at it in more detail to actually weather and, you know, make it look like it's been through the wars, literally. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first plan now we've got this bit built, I've got the covers. This doesn't have any guns in this part here at all. It just has some stubs of guns sticking out of it. It's just a shame really. I'd like to have exposed all this lot so all the guns show, but they don't come in the kit, so the guns are just at the back here. So that cover needs to go on for masking purposes, not really for that piece. I can probably get away without doing that, but the top piece needs fitting on there just temporarily. I'll just hold it in place when I paint it. And then you've got the nose piece as well, and that fits on there like that. So, and when I've done that bit, when this bit's all finished and stuff, I can put the guns in at the front, and then I can finish the cockpit off. I might not put the canopy on straight away, I'll see. It does fit extremely well though. Where is it? It's just here. So in theory you could add it, you could paint it and fit it afterwards. I don't always like doing that because it never looks quite the same, but in this particular case I might do that. I don't know yet, I'll see. So yeah, the canopy goes there, but it's got a framework inside and everything and stuff. So that's the plan. So next, as I say, next job is I need to get this primed. I'm not going to use, I think I'm going to use grey primer in this particular case. And most of the weathering I think I will be doing after it's painted. I don't think I'm going to do any pre-shading on this one. It's not that sort of model really. I don't think it's that sort of model. I've been studying pictures of it. Basically the whole model, the whole airframe is a wooden structure, then it's canvassed and then doped and then painted. So it doesn't weather like a metal aeroplane does. Obviously the engine areas might and stuff like that, but I'm pretty confident I can do most of the weathering as a post shade as opposed to a pre-shade. So I want to build it as a clean model to start with and then start messing it up, if you like. So the first plan is to give it a coat of primer. I need some grey primer. I haven't got it, I've run out of grey primer. Obviously the next time you see it I've got some, but once grey primer on it, and then it needs spraying the base grey first, I think, and then the green camo. That is going to be done with real colours again, so I've got the right colours for that. So that's the job. So I'll see you back again when I've got a coat of primer on this. Okay, I've decided before I do any painting at all, I'm going to use, I'm putting the canopy on. I'm not going to put it on permanently, I'm just going to keep it in that position like that. I find that you can put covers on things and just hold them in place like that, and then just spray around it, and then just move your finger and then just spray again. And I'm basically using the canopy as a mask to keep paint out of there, but obviously to do that it's better to mask it. And it calls in the instructions to, you don't mask on the inside of it, you don't get masks for the inside at all. It calls in the instructions to paint it cockpit green first and then paint the camo on top of it, which is quite common. So that's what I'm going to do. And now you get the masks in the kit, which they're basically a printed shape, but they're not cut out. You have to cut them out yourself. So I've been ticking off as I've been doing them. Just get a usual nice craft mark. I can't do it on film because, as much as it's, I don't think it's really that interesting. But basically, you just get a knife. I'll do a little bit, but I don't even use a ruler. Actually, if you get a nice sharp blade, and just trace along the line, it's quite easy. And then just gently cut through them. You can even do the curves. The curves are easy enough. I'm finding this craft knife really nice. My wife's just got a pair of them for doing some of her craft work, and she gave me this one, and it's really good. It's a lot more comfortable to hold than a Swan Martin one. There you go. So anyway, yeah, you just cut them out. There's quite a lot of them though, so it's just a case of being patient. I don't know if you can see this on video actually, because it looks like it's burnt out on my monitor. So yeah, just go through them all, and then just cut them out, and then we can mask the canopy. Oh yeah, quite easy to do it actually. So yes, it's annoying that they're not already pre-cut, but when you cut them out, from experience I've done another model I've done, they fit perfect. They're really good masks of these. So I'll get the rest of them cut out and I'll get them on the model, and then we'll move on from there. Right, okay, that's the masks fitted. It was okay. Most of them fit really well, but this side window on this particular version's got a bulge in it, which makes it a bit more tricky to fit. So I had to add some additional tape to make that correct, I suppose. All the rest of them are fine. I don't mind a little bit of overspray on this sort of stuff, because you can always touch it up afterwards. Anyway, so that goes on there like so. As I say, I'm just using that as a mask at the moment, just to keep paint out of the cockpit area. So when I'm painting this, what I shall do, I don't tend to show painting on video much because it makes a bit of a mess, and I can't film where my spray booth is and the actual extractor is, and I tend to use a lot of lacquer paints, and I don't like using the lacquer paints with the extractor going because it makes a noise. So and then to bring it over it makes a mess. So it's tricky to show painting, but if people do want to see more of me painting things, just let me know in the comments. I'll try and arrange it, or try and adapt. But it's not really, I don't see it as particularly interesting watching people paint. As long as you know how you're doing it, how to do it, I suppose. I'll try and be a bit more descriptive in the future, I think, if I can. Anyway, so what I'm going to do when I paint it, you just don't have to glue it on, you just hold it there, so it fits really well. I can just paint that area there, and then move over to there, and move over to there, and then eventually I'll paint the canopy itself. But I can do that off the thing, and you can always clean inside here. So that's bits masked up anyway, so I'm just trying to look at other things that I might need to do with it. Now if you look on the reference photograph, I put one up earlier on showing this area here, and I noticed there's quite a lot of wires and stuff and wiring in this area here. Now it might be a little bit late to put it in, because it would have been better with it out of the bulkhead, out of the model to do that. but there are some connection points all over the thing really. These are all connection points. Sorry, I'm trying to point to that. These are all connection points where wires go. Tamiya obviously provided the actual item, but they haven't put the wiring in for that. So I need to decide if you can see it first of all. If you can't see in there, there's no point doing it. But because Tamiya are good at adding detail in areas that you'll never see in a million years without an endoscope or something. It's like the Corsair that I built a while ago was like that. It was beautiful, but you couldn't see half of it. So I need to do a bit of investigation to see if it does need some more detail added into that area. And if it does, I'll do my best to fit it in there. It's like this box here, for instance. It's got wires going to it here, but it hasn't got anything coming out of it. But I'm assuming that you can't see anything because that's going to be covered up. So I don't know. I need to look at that as well. So yeah, other than that, but I can always add those afterwards, by the way, because obviously you can get to it. Other than that, once that's in place, I can put all the nose cone bits on and everything just to mask off that area. I can then paint that. There's obviously a cover on there, but you put a screw through that hole there to screw the wing on, to bolt it on. But other than that, I can paint it. So it needs a coat of primer on there now, basically. So I shall be back when I've done that. There is something to consider. I have to paint that cockpit green, not grey. It's very easy to make that mistake. You can get giddy and start painting and stuff, and if you did paint that with grey primer, you're doomed. You can't do it. You can't paint it any other colour then, because you'd have to take all the masks off, clean it, and then put the mask back. It won't work. So just remember when you're doing this sort of thing to paint that bit green first. So that's what we'll have to do. Okay, I've masked up the fuselage. You wouldn't have to do this if you put the wing on, but obviously it's a sacrifice I'm afraid I've got to make. A bit of masking doesn't hurt, does it? You can always repaint the green bits. It's not like it's a disaster if you've got any overspray on it, especially around this tail and everything. But yeah, the nose I've just taped it on temporarily, and I'll paint most of it. You can paint the covers afterwards, can't you? But I'll just keep taking bits off, painting over the top. It'll be fine. I've painted the canopy as well, so that can go on now. I've painted it green. So yeah, we're ready to go. I'll get some primer on it. Right, got a grey primer, no big deal. I've given it a little bit of a sand as well, so it's ready to take the base coat of grey. It's quite fiddly to do, holding these things in place while you're painting it all, but it's doable. And, when I paint the base colour, it'll be a much finer spray anyway, so it should be okay. So far so good. So yeah, that canopy fits so well. I'm not going to worry about fitting that while I'm painting it. I'm just going to leave it, fit it afterwards. So quite happy with that. So the next job is I've missed off a few little pieces at the back here. There's some little blimpy bits, so I need to add those actually. And then let's get the first coat of correct colour grey on, which isn't a right lot of difference to this, to be fair, but I'll do it the right colour anyway. So back in a bit. Right, bit of progress. Well, it's not really progress actually, it's a bit of it's okay. I'll try and explain what I mean. This has had a coat of primer on it, and this is the grey colour I was originally going to use, which is this stuff, Real Colours Medium Sea Grey. Now that's supposed to be a perfect match for this particular application, which I'm sure it is. However, I don't really like the paint sometimes. It's kind of a, I don't know how to describe it, it's kind of very fickle as regards thinning it. If you don't get the viscosity right, how you thin it, it's got no forgiveness to it whatsoever. It either comes out really spattery or too thin. And if you get it right, it's lovely, it's alright. But it also dries with this kind of sheen to it. It doesn't dry matte, which doesn't really matter, I suppose. But I've also noticed it varies in shade depending on how it covers. You can't see on camera, but that's darker than that, purely because there's more paint on there than there is on there. But that's still covered. It's a bit weird. It's a strange sort of paint. And there's another issue with it as well. When I build models, I tend to sand them a bit. I cut them back and then polish them up just to get rid of imperfections, bits of dust and stuff you get from painting. And I found with this particular paint, it shifts in colour. This particular paint, it has like a green tint to it if you sand it, which is no good to me because, I'll tell you why now. I've ordered some of these. I know it's going to get lacquered anyway, but I've ordered some one-man army masks. These are mainly to do these, but you also get the masks for the insignia, which I'm going to paint on this model. The reason I'm doing that is because Tamiya decals are quite thick and I don't really like them. You can get rid of it, but you have to put an awful lot of lacquer on. I keep cutting it back all the time, and I just think in this particular case I think it's worth painting the insignias on, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've ordered some. I've been to the shop today because I've run out of just about materials. I've run out of everything. I was trying to get this done so I could get some progress done, and I used Mr. Surfacer. This is 1200. I used some 500 on this. I wouldn't recommend it. It tends to it almost etches into the plastic to the point where it's starting to melt it, which in this particular case doesn't matter too much because it is a. When you look at a real Mosquito, they aren't smooth. They've got canvas. They've got a doped canvas material on them, so they are a bit. I don't know. They're not perfectly smooth, but I don't like using it. It's horrible to use really. So I've gone back to my usual stuff and I've got some of this stuff, which is the 1200 version. If you thin that 50-50 with this stuff, or any thinner really, doesn't really matter. It sprays lovely, so that's what I'm going to use. So I've been to the shop and bought a load of materials that I ran out of, so I bought 2 bottles of that. That's the thinner version of it, so that's really good for when you're spraying gloss, anything gloss, because it retards it a little bit. And then I use this stuff to clean the airbrush out, basically, because it's just... And then I've got 2 things of grey surfacer, about 2 whites, and about 2 blacks. This is great. So paint anything that I paint black now, I use that instead. I don't use paint, I use that. Same with white, I use that. Then I bought red, white and a yellow for the insignias. Now they're no good straight out of the bottle because they're too light. So what I tend to do with those, I'll drop in bits of black just to kind of dull them off. And that's why I bought some special ones to do that. So I'll use that for just that job. I bought some more green for the camo, and I'm going to use that instead. I know it's not the grey that it recommends in the kit, but I think it looks a bit better, lighter, does this camo, because it will get darkened with weathering process anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I've put a little bit of a blob of it just there, and the difference between the 2 shades is very, very subtle. I just prefer this colour when it's a bit lighter. So, and I like this normal bog standard Tamiya acrylic for doing camo. It's just so much easier to spray. I don't know what it is. And the cost of all that little lot is just a load of chemicals, isn't it? It's £92, 40p. Can't see on there, can you? There you go. So that's where modelling gets out of hand, doesn't it? Then again, all this stuff will last me quite a while, but I do go through a lot of thinner because every time I spray, I used to have the thinner to clean my airbrush out. This stuff lasts for quite a while. So there we go. So that's that. And I did paint these, and I ended up having to strip it because it ended up being too thick because of the 500 stuff. I just chucked them in. I got an ultrasonic cleaner, and I'll just throw them in there, and it just washes all the paint off again. So I'm back to where I was yesterday, basically. So I'm going to mask it all off. It's masked off underneath reasonably well, but I'll have to redo some of it. And then I'm going to paint it that colour, sky grey, which I know is too light. Light colour is very subjective. I'm not going to go into the colour science of it all and everything, but what people see in colours, it depends on how the photographs were taken, what light it's in, all sorts of stuff. But it's near enough to satisfy my critical mind, if you like. So I'll give it a shot of that colour anyway. So, excuse me, I'll be back when I've got a coat of grey on that, and I'll have to repaint the canopy as well, whatever I've done with it. What am I doing with it? You know, I've lost that. It's around somewhere. It's under all this little pile of stuff. Oh, it's there. Crack it up. Yeah, that'll need repainting as well. So back in a bit. I've had a few people ask how the cat is. Well, here she is. This is Nutmeg, our old, deaf, toothless cat. Can't see her face on this angle, I'm afraid, but I'm not going to force her to look at the camera. But yeah, this is the noisy one that you hear occasionally. But there you go. Oh, there you go. Right, painted it. I'll call the cat. That was a bad idea, wasn't it? At least the paint's dry. So I've painted all the bits. like so. So we've got all these little bits painted. Now I was, as I say, I was going to paint it in a Tamiya grey. Now this is just grey primer. Now I think this is the right colour for me. I'm happy with it because I've done a model before in this colour. I think I did a 48 scale Spitfire and I think it looks quite good. And I think it's appropriate for this model, and it might be a little bit light, but once it's got some weathering on it and everything else, I think it'll dull off a bit. It is going to get weathered a lot. Let me just let the cat out again now. So I'm just going to stick with the primer because I think it's alright. Set it off now. So I'm going to stick with this because I like using this primer as a base. So next job now is to camo it up, get the masking on for the green. So yeah, and then I can get I'm going to give it a coat of lacquer, and then we can start putting the decals on it. Well, not decals, are they? I'm going to start masking up to put the insignias on. So it's kind of a weird way of building this kit, isn't it? We're building it in a strange sort of manner, but I like doing it like this because it's easier to, a bit of work on this area really here with it like this, much easier than if it had the wings and the tail on and everything. So I'll be back when I've decided how I'm going to do the camo, because the top and the bottom of the grey part is the same colour. It's not, it doesn't have any lines down the centre of it or anything. So the grey is all one thing, and you just have to camo the green. But it has got, it's not a hard line camo. It has got a soft edge on both of the demarcation lines across this way and across that way. So I've not decided how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to use blue tack or white tack and do it that way. So I'll be back when I've got that in, I think. Right, masked up the ready for the green now. So let's get that whacked on there. It's quite decent sized sausages, so I'll try and put a feather on it as much as I can. So yeah, we're back in a minute. Right, there we go. That's the canopy masks off as well. Basic camo done. Quite happy with that. It's gone down quite nicely. It's going to get weathered, but yeah, it was quite easy to do really. All the panels and stuff are painted as well, so we've got that on there. And we've got the nose. And, it fits on when it needs to go on afterwards. To be fair, that probably won't be fitted on that much because I'm going to, obviously when they put the guns in and stuff, it'll just be removable, but anyway, it probably won't be on. I'm not going to fasten the canopy on yet because there's lots of work to do, and there's the gun sight to fit in there and a few other bits. There's all the frame for the canopy, all sorts of other things, and I'd like to keep it clean inside there, so if I don't glue it on yet I can get to it if you like. So yeah, next job now, I need to touch up down here, so I missed a bit of grey off it. It's still the wrong colour underneath there, so I need to patch that up, and then we can get on the insignia on the side. So I can get the masks on there and start doing the roundels and the squadron lettering, etc. So back in a bit. Okay, this is the last bit of this video for a bit because I'll have to stop doing this for a little bit because as you can see, now I have a red background, which means Airfix builds. I'm building an Airfix Wessex at the moment. So that's as much as I can do on this at the moment because I need to get this done. Once I finish this build, it'll only take a couple of, I don't know, maybe a week. When I've done that, I'll break off and I'll do another part on this one, and I'll fit it in between doing the commission stuff. So the next thing I'll do with this is get the, I'm not happy with the camo actually. It's alright at the front end here, but this bit here, I'm not right keen on it. It's it don't look quite right to me. I think I'm going to put a hard line on the brake there. So I've seen some pictures where it's like that, and then I'll redo the green, this part here. The rest of it's not too bad, I'm happy with it, but I'm not happy with that. And then we'll get on with the demarcation line. So it's only a short video as on part 4, but it is what it is. I can't do much about that at the moment. So I shall be back with part 5 doing this, and on part 5 I will get this bit done, and I'm going to get all of the rest of it done. So it's a complete unit. I'm not going to probably do the tail, but I'll certainly get the guns in and get the cockpit on and all that sort of business. So thanks for watching. It's only a short one, but I'll be back.